One of the things we learn as we read through the book of Acts is the incredible courage of the first followers of Jesus who are frequently being arrested, being attacked by mobs, being flogged and beaten and imprisoned, and yet none of that adversity or hardship stops them from proclaiming the good news. So great is their faith and conviction and the desire to share the good news with others that more people might be part of God's loving family. In Acts chapter 17 and verses 1 through 21, we see this happen yet again. Paul and Silas came to Thessalonica in our Bibles. That's a port city in Greece that we visited just a couple years ago. And as was their custom, they go first to the synagogue and they argue with their fellow Jews about Jesus. And some were persuaded, some were not. A mob gets formed by those who are opposed to them, and they're searching for Paul and Silas to bring them out. They attacked a man named Jason. They attacked his house because Jason was hosting them, providing hospitality. And our verses for today are verses 6 and 7. When they could not find them, they dragged Jason and some believers before the city authorities, shouting, "These people who have been turning the world upside down have come here also, and Jason has entertained them as guests. They are all acting contrary to the decrees of the emperor, saying there is another king named Jesus." Part of what we, again, see in the book of Acts is that there is rising conflict because Christians believe we have a highest allegiance, and that is to Jesus, who is a king, whose kingdom is not of this world, but the king who demands our highest allegiance, and that is more important than allegiance to an emperor or the supreme political authority in any country. And I also love the description of the early Christians, these people who are turning the world upside down. Is that how people regard us today? I wonder. Are Christians seen as people who are turning things upside down to produce a kingdom where the last shall be first, where the poor have good news preached to them, where the outsider and the outcast are welcomed, where food and resources are shared freely and generously? The first Christians turned the world upside down, and in so doing, they both put themselves at physical risk, but they transformed the world. What a challenge and an inspiration to us in our time to be willing to turn the values of the world upside down and not to worship an emperor, but to say there is one king and his name is Jesus, and we will serve his kingdom and we will live as he taught us, no matter what the cost.